my time, think it's my year. Yeah.
Hey, happy Wednesday. Man, we got a busy day on the morning show today. Not every day is like the busiest day. Today is one of the busier days. So we've got, let's see, in no particular order, monthly candles, right? So we have some monthly charts to just discuss. We have earnings, right? Amazon, AMD, Supermicro, Starbucks, CVS. We won't get to all of them. It is a Fed day, as if some people care. Some people do care. I care a little bit more than certain other people on this show. Fed day today, 2 o'clock. Kenny Glick is coming on in a little bit. And then right after Kenny, we'll have Mr. Brian Lund. So a lot going on. Oh, also it's Wednesday. So Mornings with Mary. How could I forget about that? Duh. So a lot going on today on the show. We're busy. You're here. We're here. Let's roll. Where's my intro?
All right, we're back. Let's go. You think it's ghetto to grill in the driveway?
To do what in the driveway?
Grill steaks in the driveway.
No.
Yeah, a little bit.
Is that a little bit hood?
I think so.
That's what I was doing last night.
Why?
We even put the dining room table out in the driveway and everything.
Are you kidding me?
No, not the dining room table. The table that we're getting a new deck.
So
I don't have a deck. So we moved everything to the driveway. Is that hood? It's pretty hood, right?
There's no reason for you to do that with the size of your yard.
So you think, yeah, but our yard's destroyed, man. There's holes everywhere. There's construction trucks and stuff.
I mean,
things with the shovel, like the giant shovels. What are those called? Excavators.
Yeah.
War zone back there. So we I like that hat, by the way.
New hat.
I like it.
I cooked burgers on a driveway once in college.
I know, that's what I'm saying. It's like a college thing to do. It's like kind of like a hood thing to do. I don't know.
I don't know. I didn't think this was so bad until just now.
I live in a nice neighborhood, I feel like the people that drove by, they didn't look at me strange. They were like, all good,
I think who said in the chat, it brings the community, it makes the community feel a part of it. Yeah, that's right.
Had a bottle of Palmerol.
Brings everyone closer together.
Which is a right bank Bordeaux.
I think the only rule, JC, is are you far enough away from your house where you won't like burn your house down, right? Like that's the only rule.
It's a grill. It's not a bonfire. So
yeah, still,
I know. So Spencer's getting a grill, so he's getting very excited. I'm going to teach him.
I have a grill, and I have taken fulfillment, whatever, of a propane tank. Finally, so
hey now I have four propane tanks. 3 of them are empty. 1 is about to be empty. So I like to live my life dangerously.
Okay.
All right. So not that hood. Okay. All right. Let's go. We got markets to talk about. Big day.
Yeah.
Big day.
Big day.
All right. So what do we got today? We got our monthly conference call this evening. This is, as Strazza likes to make fun of me, this is one of my favorite days.
Yep.
No meetings today. Focused. 2 meetings. Well, we have our analyst meeting today, so we're obviously having that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't
so
text
no meetings
today.
Just doing my own thing.
Don't call.
Everybody sends me charts. I pick the ones that I think are adequate enough. Every now and then, Strazza gets one that makes the cut. Every now and then, right?
I used to make half the deck. Now I let the analyst team participate more.
Why don't you, for those of you who are going to be joining me tonight, I hope you're as excited as I am. If you have no idea what we're talking about, we do this twice a month where we get together for about an hour, rip through about 150 charts or so, give or take. Go over the most important trends. What we like to do at the beginning of the month is take a step back, take a deep breath, zoom out, identify the primary trends in this market, stocks, interest rates, various commodities, precious metals, energy, etc. And then within the context of those underlying trends, look for opportunities. So that's tonight. So super stoked. Monthly candlesticks last night. Great session here. A little music, a little Bordeaux action. Everybody was asleep. It was lovely. And tonight is the night. So Spencer, if you want to drive, if you want to drop that link, if anybody is interested in joining this evening, it's gonna be pretty awesome. Pretty awesome. Dawson says some real shitty monthly candles out there. I don't know about shitty. I think it's all in the eye of the beholder. I wouldn't look at them as shitty. I would look at them as perfectly consistent with everything we've been seeing for several months. And with that being said, Mr. Spencer Israel, let's get into the charts, but let's do a quick little rundown. Dow futures this morning doing absolutely nothing. Dow down 40 points, no big deal. S&P futures down 25 basis points. Down to about 50-50 on the S&P 500. NASDAQ 100 leading the way lower today, down 40 basis points, 69 points to the downside for the NASDAQ futures. Bond futures actually not down somehow, hanging in there right around 114, up 40 bips on the day. Gold up 25 basis points, hanging out above 2,300. Silver 26.70, up a nickel this morning. Copper down 0.2%. $4.53. Crude oil down 1% and change, down to around $81 per barrel. Dollar mix in early trading, not much going on there. Volatility index back above 16. Hello. And then, of course, can't have a legit rundown without talking about what's going on in the funny money. And of course, the sell-off in cryptocurrencies, again, perfectly normal, continues with Bitcoin down 2,400 points this morning, down to 58,000. The selling continues as the market keeps proving that there is more supply than demand at these prices, as it's been proving for years. If anybody is surprised, it's only because they haven't looked. Ethereum back under 3,000, down almost 3% on the day, 29.25 for Ethereum. Solana continues to sell off, down $75 off its highs, down under 125, down another 2% today. Total crypto market cap, Spencer Israel, keeps dropping. $2.1 trillion.
2.1?
That's right.
I'm a big fan of this action in crypto, Bitcoin in particular. This is how new rally phases begin almost every time. I have a chart that I always go back to.
This is how current corrections continue, as far as I'm concerned. Can you throw up slide 4 there, Spencer?
Yeah, I got a chart for you.
So this is really it. Spencer, you want to zoom out there so people can see?
Yeah. 1 second.
Yeah. So this is really, I think, all that matters. I think the rest is I wouldn't say all that matters. This is really what matters the most. And then for anything actionable, we're looking at the 10-day highs and 30-day highs, or lack thereof, really, at this point. But for any opportunities moving forward, that's really the universe that I'm focused on. 10, 14-day highs, 30-day highs, non-existent, obviously, these days. But, the few that do show up do stand out. But this is all it is. It's just math. We don't have to make up conspiracy theories about it. We don't have to tell each other scary stories and sensationalize this halving bullshit that they keep telling you about. None of that matters. It's very simple. There has been an overwhelming amount of supply relative to the demand at these prices for years now. Years. This isn't anything new. This isn't all of a sudden this new thing that's happening. The same old story. At these prices, the market continues to prove that there is more supply than demand. You can spend all your days and all your nights trying to come up with reasons as to why there's more supply than demand at these prices, and you're welcome to do that. I just don't care. It really doesn't matter at all. It's just math. More sellers than buyers. There's more supply than demand. And until the market proves to me that demand has finally been able to absorb that overhead supply, this isn't my problem, right? Your bags, if you will, the people that are holding these bags, that's not our problem, right? I'm the old man in the room that is being patient, waiting for the breakout.
Hold on.
We'll see it when it happens. And when it happens, I'll be all over it. Flip.
How is it not your problem if you're long Bitcoin and Ethereum and all these?
Yeah, I'm talking tactically. Yeah,
So,
tactically. Yeah, I have long-term positions in crypto.
Well, it could be your problem, right?
Yeah, I guess. Sure, but I'm not going to do anything about it right now.
What's a bag holder? Somebody who's just holding Bitcoin long term, right?
I think bag holders are those who were buying at resistance, right? Versus them buying the breakout above 31, right? Which is what we were doing. I think this is the exact same thing. I think buying the breakout in these charts is like buying Bitcoin above 31. I think it's the same thing. And in the meantime, cash is king. Cash keeps working. When I was younger, I used to buy things at resistance, anticipating a breakout, trying to get ahead of the breakout. And it was very frustrating. And I'm too old for that shit. I don't need that in my life. So
and also, like Brian Shannon always says, you have to. I like these charts because they're zoomed out, so you could see that Bitcoin's up 300% this cycle, right? So you want to be patient. It's come a long way, right? Where has it come from? So this digestion or correction is very well deserved and constructive. You don't want things to move in a straight line for too long.
throw up slide 2, please, Spencer.
Don't you have to be underwater to be a bag holder?
I don't know. I think it's just people who are losing money holding Bitcoin.
Or holding anything.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So here is technology continuing to be the worst place to be for investors. Like mathematically, there has not been a worse group of stocks on planet Earth, right? So not just in America, but for Earthlings all over the world, technology has been the worst. This is tech on an equally weighted basis over the last 2 months, actually the worst. On an equally weighted basis, the NASDAQ 100 dramatically underperforming anything else. A lot of that has to do with the tech exposure, obviously. But I think that this really tells the story up there over the last 2 months. What are we looking at? Energy, utilities, consumer staples as the best sectors. Historically speaking, in healthy market environments, are energy, utilities, and consumer staples the leaders in healthy market environments, or in messy environments where cash is king and rotation into defensives is what you're seeing, and leaders continuing to lose, former leaders anyway, continuing to lose? Those are the types of environments where energy, utilities, and consumer staples tend to shine, and that's exactly the type of environment we've been in for months. So tonight, I know Spencer dropped in the link. Tonight, we're going to zoom out. We're going to take a look at these longer term time horizons, put all of this into context. But what's happening this year, what's happening now, is that tech continues to be the worst place to be. How do we feel about that?
For a few weeks.
For months.
Watch yesterday's show if you want my thoughts on it. I'm not having the same conversation
for a few weeks. Anyway,
it's been months, Spencer.
Tech is up 6.5% year-to-date basis. Third top performer after yesterday's weakness.
Right. So we're not going to use arbitrary Happy New Year's days. We're talking about when things change. Things changed in February, right? This is not January. January was really
the last 2 months.
January, as we know, January was like a hangover of last year, right? A lot of last year's trends continued into January. You had some deterioration, of course. A lot of things peaked in December, as we know, but a lot of those leaders continued into January. We know things changed in February.
Okay. But your performance chart goes back to March, just to be clear.
Oh, yeah. We can do it for February if you want.
Okay. Got it.
Yeah. I mean, we can go back to February. It's just things really got pronounced in March. Things started to change in February, as we discussed here every single day throughout February. You weren't seeing it so much at the index levels, but you were definitely seeing it at the individual stock levels for those of us who take the time to count. But things at the index level started to change in March, as you can see here, obviously.
So Apple earnings could change this for XLK. You're measuring with equal weight tech, right? But Apple, what?
I only brought up the equally weighted tech because you were so passionate about the equally weighted charts yesterday. We could go back to market cap weighted because we do, in fact, live in a market cap weighted world, whether we like it or not. It's just how it is.
Well, I'm just thinking about Apple and the report that's coming up. What is it? It's tomorrow, Spencer?
Yeah.
I hope they kill it, dude. I hope they come out with a cure for cancer and the stock doubles.
So I just want to be very clear. I will not be closing my risk reversal ahead of earnings.
Good for you.
Okay.
I appreciate that from you. It's great. I hope it works out for you.
I know
I don't wish poorly upon anyone. I'm 42 years old. I have 3 kids. Do you think I need more aggravation in my life?
You can always have more aggravation in your life.
I just don't need more headaches. I get enough of those. I'm good. I'll be an observer. Honestly, I swear to God, I hope they land on the moon and cure cancer all in the same earnings report. And
I don't think they have to. Here, let's talk about it. People are expecting a really bad quarter, right? All the read-throughs and the supplier stuff, right? People are expecting a bad quarter. It's baked in. The stock's down 15% from its highs. It's been going down for a while now, or at least
I think there's some. Yeah, I think there's something to that for sure.
At a certain point, when is 15% enough for a 3-month period that maybe they didn't perform so well in? When the future holds this AI phone upgrade cycle. At what point does the market look through to the end of this year when things are likely to get a lot better for Apple?
I've back tested this AI cycles because there's been so many in the past, and I'm just not seeing anything there.
Can we talk about Amazon just real fast? Talk about like a ho-hum earnings report and a ho-hum reaction.
Yeah.
I mean,
what is a ho-hum?
Just garden variety, run of the mill. Insert your cliche here. It was fine. It was a good report. Nothing about it was bad. It was just like keep on keeping on. And their big thing is that they've been really focused on the last 2 years, I guess, cutting costs in certain areas so that they can afford to spend billions on AI. And that's what they're doing. So I think the muted reaction speaks to just how kind of uneventful. I mean, look, they beat on the top line, they beat on the bottom line. AWS increased 17% year over year, yada yada. These are all trends that are in line with historical trends. So really not much to see here with Amazon, with the earnings report or with the stock this morning, frankly.
I love that about them. And I think for a lot of the Mag 7 names, you should expect muted reactions at this point. I think Apple's similar. I think Microsoft is similar. I know Google just had a big one. Meta's had some really big ones this cycle.
Look, here's what's interesting about the one thing that caught my eye from the Amazon report was this is the first
cloud growth.
It wasn't that. It was that this is the first quarter, their first earnings report since they started running ads on Amazon Prime, right? And because of that, their ad sales was actually their fastest growing unit in the whole company. Grew 24% year over year. And this is actually, this is in line with what Facebook said. With Facebook and Google, right? They make all their money from ads. The advertising market has rebounded clearly. Amazon kind of echoing the same thing. So Amazon running ads on Prime is only going to help them. I just thought that was interesting that their ad unit was their highest growing unit, fastest growing unit last quarter, more than cloud, more than anything.
I think this type of chart setup lends itself well to an earnings report because you don't want to be long this unless there's strength. AMD is the same way. So I was talking about this on Spaces yesterday afternoon. With Amazon, ideally this earnings reaction was the catalyst to finally break through this well-tested level of overhead supply. Hasn't done it yet, but there was no reason to be involved really below this level. And I think AMD too, right? If these things reversed higher in the after hours, you could have bought them.
Yeah. AMD, a little bit of a different story because their guidance, I guess, was a touch on the light side, right? They guided for revenue for the current quarter, 5.4 to 6 billion, which that's in line. I take that back. That is firmly in line with the estimate. So I guess, you know what it is? They didn't blow the doors off like they had been previously for the last few quarters. So
problem with AMD, from what I understand, is that they're trying to be in the same business as NVIDIA, but they just don't have products nearly as good as NVIDIA. So it might be second best, but it's kind of like still nobody really wants their stuff unless they're China and aren't allowed to buy NVIDIA's stuff or don't have the money to afford NVIDIA's stuff.
I mean,
so I don't know if it's a bad position to be in, but it's not NVIDIA.
Yeah. Again, I think this is sort of a case of just look what it had been doing for the past few quarters. And so even 80% year-over-year growth in data center revenue is like not going to excite people after the growth that they'd been showing for the past few quarters before that. So
AMD is broken. I don't know about that. I don't know about all that. It's still a triple off the lows from 2022.
Yeah.
Your short-termism is infecting the chat, JC.
My short-termism or the realism of the now, the world that we live in now. I know you're obsessed with what happened over the last 2 years and these AI cycles because there's so many to study from the previous market history. Let me tell you why. Can I share something as to why I think you guys are criminally insane?
What did I do?
Both of you?
Yeah.
Seriously. Like criminally insane, like I think you need to be checked into a mental hospital.
For buying stocks in the market.
You're sitting here telling everybody about this bullshit about some advertising. What is this AI nonsense, Spencer? Throw up what actually is happening and what actually is matters here. This is slide 3. You guys are telling all the stories, all this fucking nonsense. It's just risk appetite is really all it is. It's just money flow. You're telling me all these stories about Amazon and all these things they're doing. It's a bunch of fucking bullshit. It's just the extension of the same trade. Is money flowing into these types of stocks or is it not? That's it. That's it. All this story time, all these fairy tales, this Mother Goose nonsense. It's for children.
It's not stories because earnings.
It's for children.
No,
Can we just be adults and just acknowledge that it's just a money flow? Can we just be adults for 2 seconds?
Dude, the money flow would come if the earnings were there. Say they had some
that's what I was going to say.
Google, then earnings would have been the catalyst to break this chart out, right? So that's why we pay attention. That's why we cover this, right? We see this every quarter with earnings reports.
Listen, you guys can tell each other your bedtime stories all you want. It's really just a money flow. These things are stuck below overhead supply. It's not that big of a deal. We've seen it 1,000 times over 100 years. It's not a big deal. We don't have to invent fairy tales to justify the fact that there's an overwhelming amount of supply relative to demand at these prices, as we've known for years already. This doesn't have to be complicated.
Well, right. But like, if Amazon comes out and says like insane stuff and that their revenue is going to grow, 100% quarter over quarter, then the stock would break through these levels. That's just
maybe in your opinion, but you're just making that up. You don't know that to be
true.
Right.
I am making that up. I mean, that's generally speaking what happens when a company comes out and with like crazy good news, right?
Yeah, maybe sometimes, but this time, which is the time that we actually live in, which is the time that we actually have to make the decisions upon, there's an overwhelming amount of supply relative to demand at these prices for Amazon and Bitcoin and a lot of other things for that matter. And it's just math. And the market has already proven for years now that is the case. And the market continues to prove for years now that it hasn't changed yet. So why don't we just wait for it to change instead of sitting around with our thumbs up our asses, telling each other bedtime stories about revenues and business decisions?
Yeah, that's fine. That's all fine. And events like earnings are one of those things that can lead to that change. And whether they do or don't, that's also information, is it not? So in this case, it appears that no change in regime.
And for the record, David, I am the furthest thing from grumpy because I have such high cash positions and such little exposure directionally to this market. I couldn't be happier.
That could make you grumpy. That would make one grumpy.
That would make one grumpy if I were to be getting chopped up in this market versus taking advantage of those that are getting chopped up. I would be grumpy. Things are good.
I'm sorry to put a bow on this, but can we bring on Kenny Glick here?
Please.
Who's here for a few minutes to show us what he's watching. I actually have a new Kenny bumper. You guys want to see it?
Ooh.
Kenny hasn't seen this yet. I hope he likes it.
Oh, Kenny Glick in the house. What's up, my man?
Wait a minute. Before we go, I want to be known as Money Flow because that was my 80s rap name. So what's up, y'all? Money Flow.
What's up, Money Flow? Can we get some bars? You got any bars?
No, I don't freestyle before 9:30. What's going on?
Oh, is that a personal rule?
It is.
You don't
It is.
freestyle. You don't freestyle before 9:30, and you don't fight the anchored VWAP.
Yes, never fight the anchored VWAP. What's up, fellas? It's been a while.
How are you?
Are we walking through the charts today or what?
I don't know, but remember we were just joking around about me buying the Donald Trump stock at 22.50 that morning,
Yeah.
and I said it might go to 50. Bull.
Here we are. All right, big
So-
ups, Kenny.
Anybody else have any trades they want me to take the other side of? Because man, when everybody's screaming short something, all I can think of is Carvana. I mean, I'm in. So it's been I love this market. This is
Kenny, it goes back to all the things Strazza always say, like Palantir and Tesla and some of these other things that people just hate for reasons that have nothing to do with the stock because they're just angry at the CEO or whatever. Those are great opportunities for squeezes because there's like a built-in squeezability just because people's emotions are involved. It's great. It's great.
right. You know what I hate? I like when people start hating on stocks and they say want to short stocks just because they're not in them. They have that's it. This stock went up too much after I sold it. It must be a short now.
That's right. That's
Great
right.
philosophy. Yeah.
That's
By the
right.
way, that's my philosophy. I'm always.
Kenny, are you in Carvana or are you just talking to me about Carvana?
No, I am completely liquid, back to being a day trader. As soon as earnings season starts, I get liquid. I put on the biggest short position I've had on since 2012, and it didn't work. I was 2 weeks early, and I missed that rollover on the Qs. But that Monday where we finally did follow through, I didn't re-up. Again, that's the peril of the trader. You put that massive trade on, it doesn't work, and then when it starts to work, you don't go as big. But it was all right, again. And now I'm here. I'm right back to just being, mostly in cash. I'm shorting UVXY every day because of the reverse split. That's free money. But when earnings season's here, I'm right back to being the classic 90s day trader, and I love it. Liquid and loving it, baby.
What's on the watch list this morning, Kenny?
Starbucks already. If you want to look at my charts, I think I have them up there. This is little Starbucks action. Again, not much to talk about, but that little blue line has been, perfect this morning. So I got in, I saw Starbucks already broke the VWAP. I like to buy stocks that have already got slammed on the report. So once they consolidate and break over the VWAP, usually I'm a long trader. In this case, it actually rolled back over. So we got short and it got back right to the pre-market lows where we started covering. And then the miracle happened. We covered and went long. So this little action here, just futzing around, 300 share lots. You made a day's pay already on these little tiny moves. Now I just wait to see where this goes from here. You break above that range on the top, we're probably going to go higher, but looks like we're going to roll over, break the lows of the day. I'm looking at Pfizer, a lot of action. Only time I ever trade Pfizer would be on earnings day. Monster move up. It already got slammed. That orange line is what we call the anchored VWAP. That's prior day VWAP. Stock just went right back to where the prior close was, held. Next thing you know, you're long Pfizer. So I love this action. And the most, important part about it is, half an hour into the day, you could be on the other side of the trade that you were just talking about being short.
That's the money line, Kenny. That's the money line.
Oh,
right
yeah,
there.
the money line. I love it. And it really is because
it's a great name. It's a great name for this line. Come on.
Yeah, if you just woke up and you said, all right, give me a reason to buy Pfizer. Okay, there it is. If it breaks the blue line, buy it. And as a day trader, you make your 35, 40 cents on a $26 stock. That's your living. So again, I love earnings season. There is just so much action. Obviously, Amazon, AMD, and obviously Starbucks and the Qs. It's just been a bonanza. So
let me ask you this, Kenny, because I know you do love earnings season. How long is the sweet spot of earnings season? Would you say for your strategy? Is it 2 months? Is it 6 weeks?
Yeah, you know what? It's pretty much as long as there's a company reporting. And even though we're in the heart of it right now and you're getting an influx of 70, 80 companies a day, I don't mind when there's only 3 or 4 to choose from. There's a day where I know Adobe reports late, even NVIDIA reports a little bit late, as long as there's something reporting. Because when a stock's in the news, just like, DJT, obviously in the news, as long as there's more volume, more better. We're using VWAP exclusively to trade. So more volume, more better, as long as there's news. And when's the best news story? It's the earnings report. So the sweet spot, right at the beginning, I love when the banks come out and set the tone. The banks are notorious for reversals, the JP Morgan gapping and the Goldman Sachs gapping. Those were phenomenal trades. And then you ease into the tech stocks, and then you started getting a mixed bag. But like I said, as long as there's reports coming out, this is the best video game ever.
So it's almost always just sometimes busier than others. Is that about right then?
Absolutely. And when there's nothing to do, QQQ. So when there's nothing going on, we just go right back to those 0-date crackhead options on a daily basis, and just play the cues. And my favorite toy is UVXY, and if you guys don't know about it, it's the only guarantee in town. This stock is built. Again, I don't even want to call it a stock, but it's the ETF that just, and it's not even about the VIX. If you learn about what the UVXY is, and if you know about the split adjusted price, we're at 2 trillion now, kids. Look at the lifetime chart on the stock. I'll just be brief. It's just hilarious every time I look at it. It's a real chart. So after all the splits, the split adjusted price is 1.2 trillion. One time, baby, it's going to go back there, right? No, it's not. So the idea is that as soon as they do a reverse split, you start shorting it. And so far, they already fell 10 points. So it's free money. And also, it's a great indicator that if it does stay strong, the market is telling you that we got a little bit more selling to do. And that's where we're at right now. UVXY is kind of staying strong. The market's got, the sell the gap mentality right now. And, we're just playing it on a daily basis.
I've got the all-time high split adjusted at 122 billion.
Yeah. Oh, so sorry. I thought it was an extra zero there. I thought it was 1.2 trillion.
See, you're sensationalizing. It's only 113 billion.
Sorry.
Come on, Kenny.
Yeah.
That's hilarious, by the way.
Kenny, we will need to get you back on again soon. So don't be a stranger, and stay ready.
Kenny Glick in the house. Let's go.
I'll be with you guys on a daily basis.
Also, I want to add, this is your Christmas. Earnings season is Kenny's Christmas, or maybe Hanukkah. Sorry.
I appreciate you wearing those Cuban links.
You like that, right?
That's hot.
Run DMC Jam Master J. All right, let's get out of here.
See you, Kenny.
Hey, Kenny.
All right.
It's true.
Yeah. Okay. From Kenny to Mr. Brian Lund. How about that?
Let's go.
Yeah, BC Lund in the house.
Lund in the house.
Yo,
Jay, we've been friends for a long time. Make the call.
I mean, this is pretty professional, guys.
Nice show you got going here.
BC Lund in the house, coming through live from the local public library. Brian, thanks for being here, buddy.
Really? You guys have me following Kenny Glick? I mean, that's like following Chappelle or Zeppelin in the 70s. What am I going to do now?
A lot of pressure on you, BC.
Try not to
screw it up, all right? Let's get right into it.
Let's do it, JC. Let's get right into it. I'm going to pull my mic
right into
closer.
it. Here's my question.
My
question. Why is it that these communists that work for the federal government don't like to have any fun, right? You know what I'm saying? So hear me out. If you're going to announce that you're going to decriminalize marijuana and drop it to whatever, second degree, whatever it is that they did yesterday.
Sure.
Why would you not do that on 420? Like you're going to wait 10 more days to announce it? Like, can't we just have some fun? Can't we just do it on 420? Like, are we just not allowed to laugh and enjoy ourselves? Like, I don't understand.
Yeah, well, I mean, look, I don't know if you've noticed yet, but government's not the most functional apparatus that we have ever had. I thought you were going to the communists on the college campuses. That's where I thought you were going. Talk about not having fun.
I saw something on the news, but I don't really know what's going on. I'm more interested in why they didn't make the announcement on 420. Like, can we just have some fun around here?
I don't know what to tell you, man. I don't know. But hey, if you're in pot stocks right now, you're having fun after yesterday.
Well, talk to me. You are you're the YOLO officer in pot stocks, right? No.
Yeah.
So what do we need to know? What are we thinking here?
So much to unpack here. A lot of these stocks just went crazy yesterday. Like I think CGC was up like 78%, some ridiculous amount. You're seeing a lot of stocks that have been beaten down in that sector, ACB. But you got to remember, a lot of these, like ACB has had 2 reverse splits. I think it had a 1 for 12 and a 1 for 10. So if you've been in this stock for a long time, you're way far from being, back to even. So I think what we have to see is we have to see the move after the move. That's what I always like to look for, right? So we saw this big igniting candle yesterday on a lot of these names. You want to look at the ones that cleared resistance. Like, for example, look at Tilray, right? So Tilray had a big up candle, but it's still got some recent overhead resistance. Where if you look at ACB, you look at CGC, maybe Curaleaf, those
Even
ones are
MJ.
starting to, what's that?
Itself, I think checks the boxes that you're looking for,
Yeah.
right?
So my point is, you want to find the ones that are clearing these areas, and then just you're looking for a pullback, whether it's intraday or on a daily. But they're definitely waking up. Let's put it that way.
Yeah. Overbought momentum.
Do you think this is it?
Well, here's what I said in my Discord yesterday. If this is not it, this will be the end of the pot sector, because if they you have to remember, if you look at the history of how pot bowls have spun it, first it started with, well, if this state legalizes it, and then if this state and they had all these goalposts that they would keep moving as pot went in a relentless downtrend. And so this is the last goalpost. I mean, maybe like safe banking, maybe there's one after this, but if this goalpost gets retraced, it's going to be pretty ugly.
That seems to be like the big thing. So this doesn't change the banking regulations, right?
Right. As far as I know, it's just rescheduling, I believe.
Got it. So that's still a bummer then. Because when I lived in California, I looked at a couple of these pot deals, like some grow houses and stuff like that. And the economics were pretty spectacular, believe it or not. It's just, you can't deposit the money in a bank account. So I'm not going to make an investment in something like that.
Yeah, so I was talking with Todd Sullivan about 2 years ago on this very subject, and he said the pot stocks as an investment are horrible, but the pot industry as a business is amazing. And I believe he actually invested in the business instead of the stocks, and I think he's done pretty well.
Interesting. Here, throw up the MSOS, here, slide 3. So these are the monthly candlesticks. How many pot stock traders are looking at monthly candlesticks?
Yeah. How many people are? I mean, I know that's your jam. I know you get fired up at the end of every month, but I'm not sure that many traders in general look at monthly candlesticks.
Good.
Right?
Who do you think's got the advantage there, Mr. BC?
JC Parets, maybe.
I think so. I mean, I think putting market trends into context versus ignoring longer term market trends, right, is probably better.
It all depends on your time frame, right? Like if you're Kenny Glick, who's Mr. Hyper trader, I'm not sure that monthly candles matter. But if you're someone,
it's a fair point. Sure.
But look, I always whenever I try to break down when I'm talking to like a newbie, when I'm trying to, when I'm getting my tea at Starbucks, I'm trying to educate the barista about the exponential moving average.
You really order tea at a coffee shop?
Yeah, 100%. So fun fact, never had a cup of coffee.
Stop it.
Seriously, never had one.
You should try.
Do you think it's a little too late? It's like heroin. Like, should I try heroin now? It's a little bit too late to do it, right?
I would say probably don't start shooting heroin,
Right.
but I think coffee, you'll be fine.
Sniffing heroin, but not shooting, right?
I don't think you should do any heroin. Coffee, on the other hand, it's good for you. It's like good for like your brain and shit.
So when I'm talking to like a newbie or someone that has no context around markets or trading, the first thing I always say is the first thing I want to identify is what phase is the market in, right? And so I think if you're looking at that like a top-down approach, certainly the more information you get, the broader you go out, the better. And I think monthly candles at that point could be valuable, but I kind of get to weeklies, and that's about as far as I usually go.
Well, I do a lot of weeklies at the end of every week, and then I do the monthlies at the end of every month.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. I took in my mind, I know, right? Like if you have a whole setup, your wine of the month, or what, you're pouring yourself a glass, you're going over. I get it. It's your thing. You like it.
I had a Pomerol, 2018 Pomerol.
Yeah, that's great. Is that a dog?
Awesome.
What is that?
It's a Right Bank Bordeaux, little Merlot blend.
Yeah. So look, I'm looking forward to getting educated on some of these different things when I see you soon.
We're going to be hanging out in Sonoma. You stay in Kenwood?
What's that?
You'll be staying in Kenwood?
What's Kenwood?
Isn't that where you stay when you come to Sonoma?
No, no. I stay with my buddy. My buddy lives up there.
Right. Doesn't he live in Kenwood?
No, I don't even know what Kenwood is. Yeah.
I'm
He lives on
pretty sure that's
Fowler.
where he lives.
Yeah, he lives on Fowler Creek Road, wherever that is. Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it's Kenwood.
Okay.
It's lovely. It's a lovely valley, right? I'm looking forward to hanging out. Good eats, some good vino. Maybe we can mix in some beers. They got good breweries in the area, you know.
Yeah. So
Brian's got
probably.
one.
Yeah. Go ahead, Steve.
No. Tell them about the brewery that you were telling me about in Santa
Yeah.
Rosa.
So if you were to I'm going to talk like I know about wine, but I don't. But there's certain areas like Bordeaux or Champagne where like a specific type of wine came from. Like that's the place, that's the source, right? So if you're looking at the landscape of the U.S. and the beer explosion last 20 years, IPAs, right? India Pale Ales are the big game changer. Literally the mothership of where that whole movement came from is at Russian River Brewery, which is right up just a little north of Sonoma in Santa Rosa. I mean, it's just like a 25-minute drive. So that is literally like the home, the mothership, if you like good craft beer, Russian River.
I'm into it.
There's a brewery up in Anderson Valley. That's pretty cool. Up in Mendocino.
Yeah. There's a bunch up there. I mean, that's the thing. What happens is when you get like that core, place, you get all these little satellite places that pop up. So I'll tell you, look, my buddies lived up there for, 15, 20 years. And I'm not spiritual, but sometimes you go to some places and you just feel a vibe. Like it just seems to be, you're in tune with it. And he's got this house where you look out over the backyard. He's got a pool. There's a mountain vista. And I swear to God, it's like one of the few places in the world where I just feel so calm, so relaxed, so peaceful. So like, I'm really looking forward to this trip.
Right. We'll drive you crazy during the day arguing about markets, and then you can go be peaceful afterwards or before.
Like
let's talk about this market. Chop fast, baby. Chop. Option sellers keep getting paid. People looking for breakouts keep getting whipped around. People looking for breakdowns keep getting whipped around, right? It's a choppy mess. What's wrong with that? What's wrong with that?
Well, look, you talked about it last time I was on about a month ago that I started getting a little more cautious around mid-February. We had a really ugly reversal day. I think it was February 12th. And I don't know that I just started saying, okay, let's dial it back a little bit. And when I get cautious, three things change, right? I take fewer trades. I'm more selective because the market's less forgiving, obviously. I take smaller position sizes because I want less risk on. And I take shorter time frames because I don't want to be holding as much overnight risk. And so since February 12th, I've been dialing it back. And then about a month after that, I started raising cash. I got in pretty much all cash about a month, 5 weeks ago. And I've just been strategically picking my spots since then, just trying to see what happens on a daily basis instead of trying to push these swing trades like I see a lot of people doing. And I, like you, I feel like I'm in a good spot right now. The market seems like it's starting to roll over back down towards those recent lows, and I'm in no hurry to start deploying cash.
And I have a funny suspicion that you're enjoying this experience for similar reasons that I am enjoying this experience. It's because we've been in these markets getting chopped up before in prior cycles. And the fact that we're not now, while so many others are, feels kind of nice, don't it?
Yeah,
JC,
it feels nice.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, you go, Steve.
Do you think that there aren't people out there doing really well on the long side the past few months while you've been talking this market all bearishly? Like, do you think that anybody on the long side is just getting
I'm sure there are people doing great. I know you yourself have done pretty well yourself, right?
But I don't think I'm any anomaly. I think it's, being
so
long.
I'm not worried about what other people are doing. I'm just looking at the math because life is easier that way. And mathematically, you have a record number, right? Something we haven't seen in years of stocks that are above their 200-day moving average, but below their 50-day moving average. And it's a mess.
The market was a lot more thin last year, though, right?
No, we kept seeing sector rotation every time it needed to all year. Yeah. No,
Okay.
I couldn't disagree more.
I'll tell you what, Steve. One of the things that I've noticed, and I've been doing this for a long time. I've noticed in the last probably since COVID, is that people are much better at talking about trading and talking about the markets online and on spaces like they know what they're doing. But if you've been doing it for any amount of time, like we've all been doing it, like you'll hear them say, there's little clues that they'll say when like they'll throw out some weird indicator or they'll make a reference to something that's like and you just realize, oh, they're just either selling a service or trying to, get likes. Like there's so many people out there that are talking the game of trading and investing. Nobody ever loses anymore. Like nobody, like it's so funny. Like when I lose, I lost. Yeah, I sucked, right? Like I do these weekly videos on Saturday. I call them deconstructing a trade, and I break down an individual trade or trading concept from the previous week. And I would say 75% of those are things that didn't work out for me because for me, I feel like I learn more from my mistakes than I do from my successes. But if you listen to FinTwit, or everyone's killing it all the time. So I think it's hard to tell whether anyone's been doing well in the last 2 months. My guess would be it would be very hard to a lot of these people who position themselves as swing traders and are telling me that they've been killing it the last 2 months. I just find that hard to believe.
We do some spaces sometimes. I have a new rule when I go on these spaces. I only talk about losers. I only talk about my losers. I'm just trying to balance it out in there, because there's so many winners on these spaces. But
yeah, I tell this, JC, you got kids, right? I tell this to my kids. Failure it's a function of life. It's not a bug, right? You should be failing, and you should be failing fast, and you should look at your failures and go, okay, what did I do right? And what did I do wrong? The person that just wants to dig in and think that they're doing everything right, they're not going to learn anything, and they'll think for a while, and it may even work out for a while, like, hey, they're doing well, until things until they have some real resistance or real challenges, then they won't be prepared. So I'm all about, being honest with myself because fuck, I'm here to make money, man. I'm not here to have I'm not here to have a discussion at the bar about macroeconomics and Rhodesia. Like I look at some of these newsletters out there, and here's basically what the pitch is. Pay me $2,000 so I can talk to you about markets like your drunk uncle at Christmas, right? The stuff that they tell you has absolutely no ability to help you make money. So I'm here to make money. And if part of that is looking at myself, objectively and saying, here's where I screwed up and here's where I can change, I'm fine with it.
Something that Joe Fahmy, a mutual friend of all of ours, says all the time. I think he got this from William O'Neill, I think. Maybe Drunken Miller. He quotes Drunken Miller a lot. But Fahmy says there are 3 times in the year, on average, that you really want to press where the majority of the gains are made in the market, right? And whether it's 3 or 4 or 2, it's not really the point. I think the bigger point here is that there's a time and a place, right? There's a time when the market's firing on all cylinders. There's a time where, I'm losing sleep because we don't own enough banks or we don't own enough semiconductors. And there's times where the market's a mess and you want to do less and you want to trade smaller, right? Like there's a time and a place. That's all. And I think that the longer you do this, and you yourself made a great call in February, raising cash, getting more defensive because you took the time to actually count and identify that the market was changing. And there's nothing wrong with that. In fact, it's perfectly normal after just a record amount of runs throughout last year and through the fourth quarter, of course. But you recognize that. And again, I'll go back to what I said earlier. You probably recognize that because you have post-traumatic stress disorder, as do I, from other times where markets were a mess and we ignored it and we paid the consequences. And you and I are just sick and tired of doing that.
Yeah. I mean, at some point you say, hey, maybe if I stop banging my head against the wall, it won't hurt anymore. And that's exactly how, I feel. When I was younger, I was all about being fast and being active, right? And now that I'm older, I realize that speed and busyness kill, right? Everyone wants to be the first person in there. Like that is such a recipe for disaster. And so I'm a big fan of the move after the move, right? Like you see that big move and everyone goes, oh, there was the move, I missed it. It's like, no, I want to see what happens after the move. Do we consolidate? Do we pull back in a nice orderly range? Do we have a spot that I can define my risk, right? Then I'll get involved. Then I'll be more inclined to say, yeah, this is a real move. But too many people jump on that first move and then it just fails and they're caught and they wonder why they're not making money in the market.
Well, isn't pot, isn't that category right now? We saw the first move. Now, isn't this exactly what you're just describing?
Yeah, so that's what I was saying earlier when we first got on is like you want to find a spot, whether it's an intraday spot or a daily spot where you can define your risk. You can't just blindly buy it. Now, there may be a little bit of difference in pot in the sense that it's so beaten up for so long. I mean, like the move that we saw yesterday, to me, that strikes me. That's not, I don't feel like that's new buyers. I feel like that's short covering. Right?
Short covering. Yeah.
Right.
How high were those short interest Strazza on some of these stocks? Are they high?
Very high. This to me looks like an initiation thrust. I mean, that's pot stock's best day ever.
Ooh, are they thrusting? Are they thrusting?
Yeah, I mean, if you look at MSOS, I think that was the highest volume day ever.
Highest volume, best return ever by far. Really.
Throw up the
chart. Throw up the best day ever chart.
I'm in love with Mary Jane. Biggest one day ever for the marijuana ETF, the cannabis, the cannabis ETF. So talk to me about what does that mean to you, Strazza? Tilray short interest 15.5%, by the way. Nice job, Fonz.
What does the momentum thrust mean?
Like, what is this best day ever? What does that mean to you?
Not much. I like to see those readings show up on more of like a 5-day rate of change. This is just a 1-day rate of change.
So back to Brian's point of like, let's see.
Yeah, but this one stands out, right? Because you're getting the base breakout. You got to have some follow through here for the rest of this week or soon. You're getting the base breakout with the momentum thrusting. It's,
Dude, you guys know there's only $280 million in this ETF. That's how little and irrelevant.
Look at the exhaustion reading that we got at the peak in 2021 there. That's nice.
There's no money in these things. So what about that? Do you guys want to touch on that? So rather than like the short squeeze, great. High short interest, great. What about just a lack of investor exposure to this?
Surprised to hear that, and it makes me like it.
There's a little more, JC. The MSOS has $1 billion, so there's a little more.
In that case,
that's the biggest, Spencer.
Yeah, by a lot.
There used to be like 5 of them. Are there still? Like, didn't we?
What happened to the YOLO? Wasn't there a YOLO?
Yeah, we lost YOLO, I think.
No. I don't think you lost YOLO. Did you?
I don't know.
I think YOLO is still around. You still have
YOLO advisor shares.
Yeah, you still have
$50 million. So might as well be zero.
CNBS. You still have Toke.
Hold on, for the record, half of the YOLO ETF is MSOS.
Can we buy that ticker from them?
I did not know that.
How about Munch? Is Munch ETF or
no?
It's a great. Why didn't you just call it pot? Remember Potash used to be POT.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Potash. Yeah, it used to be.
People don't say pot anymore.
POTX. We lost that one. That's gone.
Hey, JC, you made a reference to my library when we got on, right?
It's a great library.
So I think
you own the public library.
No. I think you'll appreciate this, man. This is I got this back in like 91.
Why is yours black?
Steve, because it's like one of the original ones, right? So this is Steve Neeson's Japanese candlestick techniques. $75 it cost me. Love this book. It was a great book. Way back in the day.
I got that one, Brian. I don't have a black one. You have a special edition. Mine's yellow.
No, it's just early. And then this book right here. You know what's wrong with this book? Let me tell you what's wrong with this book. It's missing 2 very important people in the stock trading community, right? One of them is here, and the other one, I think this is before I got on the stock Twitch radar.
It was early on. They asked me to do it. I was busy. I never got around to it.
Right. Yeah,
same thing with Josh's book where they talk about like in different people. The recent one.
Oh yeah, how you invest your money or something like that.
I was busy doing some other stuff, so I didn't get into that one either.
Yeah, I hear you.
You talking about this one? Right there?
Yeah, that one.
Yeah.
Whose book is that? That's Josh's book?
Yeah.
So yeah, people keep asking me to be in their books, and I am always too busy, so I'm not in any books.
Yeah, I have that problem too. People always ask me be in their books, their movies, their
I have too many
podcasts.
kids, man. I can't be in your book. You know, I got a
Yeah.
blurb in the new Jack Schwager book, right? 3 sentences,
Yeah.
right? That I could do that.
That's funny.
There you go.
What are we buying today, Brian? Anything or just chilling?
We're not buying anything today, but I will tell you this, like I'll tell you a couple of charts that still look good. Now, if the market rolls over, they're going to just probably tank, but Kava looks so good, right? I mean, if you look at Kava on a daily, I know it's probably hasn't been public enough for it to be a true cup and handle, but it does have that look, right? That's just been a beast. And then Wells Fargo actually looks fairly
Do you
good.
eat it? Hold on. Do you eat it, Kava? Is that like your new joint?
No, so I tried Kava. I tried it about 6 months ago. Hated it, like absolutely hated it. But who cares? It's
What'd
like
you hate about it?
it was overpriced. Here's what I thought. I can go to a family-owned Greek restaurant anywhere around here and get way better stuff.
Exactly.
Than Kava. I mean, Kava is it's like if they had a chain of pho shops, right? The white people would think, oh, this is so great, but like Vietnamese people go, this is crap, right? So that's kind of how I felt about it.
I feel like do they have Chipotle in California?
Oh yeah.
And
Totally.
how do the Mexicans feel about that?
I think it's the same thing. Like I can go to about 20 different authentic Mexican restaurants around me, or I can go to Chipotle, and I would usually go to those, the family-owned places.
I guess that's not really fair because you got so many Mexicans by you. But what if you live like in Cleveland or something, or somewhere where they don't have Mexicans?
Yeah, I get it. I mean, I get the appeal, but so maybe I'm biased. I live in the breadbasket of cuisine here. Like there's probably no better place than where I am right now to get the most authentic cuisines from any culture. So like I'm spoiled. Yeah.
They don't got Cubans there, bro.
What are you talking about, dude? I'll take you to Felix's right off the orange circle and give you the best, or I'll take you to Porto's. I'll tell you what, JC, the best bakery. It's a Cuban bakery. It's called Porto's. They've got a few of them. There's one by Knott's Berry Farm. There is a line around the block for this place 24/7, 7 days a week. They have the best pastry. They have a Cuban sandwich there that I would kill for. It's so good.
No kidding. Huh?
Yeah, man.
Cubans made it to Huntington Beach.
Of course they did, man. Cubans know that they know all the good places to go, and they know HB is one of those places.
All right.
Guys, in general, though, restaurant stocks are trending really well. Like if I'm just going down the line here, looking at the industry group,
Some of them.
Red Robin, dude. Look at Red Robin. Okay.
Dude,
speaking of terrible food,
right? That 100% on that, right? 100% on that.
Sweet Greens is up 100% just this year. Look at a chart like Wingstop. It just looks so good.
This is a great example of separating the product and the company, right? Like, Peloton, great product, crappy stock.
Chipotle, Texas Roadhouse, First Watch. You ever been to a First Watch? It's a little bit too organic for me.
I do. That is. I love First Watch. I was there like a month ago.
Yeah, a lot of avocado toast on that menu. I don't know. Who does Eat own? Is that Olive Tree? Eat? Brinker? What's Eat?
How's Yum doing?
Yum looks fine too. I think they're selling earnings today.
Oh, God. I forget who Eat is.
Got some moves.
I should know this, but I forgot.
Dude, you guys don't know anything about restaurant stocks. Can I show you the one?
Show us.
Can I show you guys the one? Throw up the new slide 2 there, Spencer. You guys don't know anything about restaurant stocks. You guys want to talk about restaurant stocks? This is the one right here.
Is it?
And I would encourage everyone out there to go.
I literally just said this.
Go to Texas Roadhouse. Texas Roadhouse. Make sure you eat before you go, right? So that you don't have to eat the food, right?
Yeah. I don't think they have them out here. I don't think I've seen
there,
them.
eat the bread, right? Because when they sit you down, they already have bread waiting for you. Which is
eat the bread and leave. Is that what you're saying?
No. Eat the
Dine
bread
and dash.
No, just observe.
Yeah.
The operation these guys got going on with the earpieces, the thing, what the racket that they got going on at this Texas Roadhouse is so impressive. The food is terrible. But the experience of watching, like from a bit, like if you know anything about business and appreciate like a well-run machine, Holy shit. You
So-
know how like in the movie, the founder, like in the McDonald's movie, like they're on like the tennis court and they're like drawing on the
On the
thing and you
chalk,
see the guy on the ladder and he's doing like this
Yeah.
kind of thing. This is that at Texas Roadhouse. It is very impressive. But like I said, eat first, don't show up hungry because you're
That's interesting. I've never been to one, but we were having a conversation yesterday or the day before about Domino's, about how this stock has been as good as any stock, and it has nothing to do with the quality of their product.
No.
Right?
Yeah.
Maybe there's quality of service, but it's a
I'm telling you guys, if you're
story.
listening out there, just go hang out, just go observe.
So it's an operations story
Dude.
at Texas Roadhouse, it sounds like, but you don't have to have the best food to have a
Right.
good business that sells food.
Well,
Yeah.
Domino's Pizza, hello.
Well, but there's a lot of examples, right?
I don't think
Right.
we've got Texas Roadhouse out here. I've never seen one. So
Yeah, I don't. Yeah,
I'm telling you guys, if you're listening out there, find one and just go check it out. I'm telling you, you'll appreciate what's going on in there. It's really impressive. Really impressive.
And despite all the bull market in the restaurants, there's still Starbucks, which is down. What is it down now this morning?
Restaurant's a strong word for Starbucks.
14%
right?
this morning. Down.
Strong word.
Yeah, maybe. Anyway.
Restaurant. Yeah.
wow.
Ryan Lund, you are the man. I'm looking forward to hanging out in Sonoma in a few weeks.
yeah, I can't wait. I'm really looking forward to it.
Awesome.
See
Thanks,
you
Brian.
there, Brian.
All
Yep.
right, broski.
Thanks for
Have
having me.
fun in your
Bye.
library. It
He's-
literally looks like he's in the corner of a public library. Like he just set up his
It's
camera.
great. It's great.
Yeah, he does. It's hilarious. Okay. Good.
I want to give a shout out to Powell. Powell's going to dominate the day. Not Jerome Powell, different Powell.
Powell Industries.
Powell Industries, baby. POWL up at the very top of my leaderboard, up 25% today on the earnings report. I just wanted to
always
look.
report on Fed days. Like, is this can't be a coincidence. This happened last quarter too, or 2 quarters ago. I remember it.
Do you see how some people like to have fun and enjoy themselves? You see? You see? I would do that too.
I think this is done intentionally by
100%.
the PR department of this.
Hundo P. Yep.
Yeah, and you
Good for
know
them.
And you know what? And they're hoping one nerd like me notices and mentions it, right?
Dude,
Yep.
Like,
it's not the first time. I'm telling you, they've done this before. Can we go back and check Fed days against their earnings dates?
that's easy. We can do that right now.
Yeah, because these guys are up to something, and I like it. I'm with you, JC.
I'm into it. You see, people just don't like to have any fun. Some people do like to have fun. That's a good thing. Smile.
So
you know?
this
The fact that the U.S. government didn't make that pot announcement on 4/20, which was 10 days ago. Come on, what a fail, dude.
So listen, let's do this Transmedics too, and we'll talk about a little squeezy daddy right here. Do you have the TMDX earnings info, Spencer?
Yeah, actually, that is really at the top of my leaderboard today. It's just a hair above. Oh no, I'm sorry, that's TGTX. What is it? TMDX? What's the ticker?
TMDX, $4 billion medical device stock from Mass.
Yeah, that's up 20% today. Yeah, very nice day. Right below Powell Industries. All right, so let's see the numbers. Earnings per share. Yep, nice beat. Something weird is going on there because the GAAP EPS was 35 cents versus a 2-cent estimate. So there's some weird adjustment there. Sales 96 million versus 83 million. That's a very nice beat. They raised their revenue guidance for the fiscal year by a healthy amount, $30 million on the low end. So beat and a raise. Good stuff.
20% short interest, 8 days to cover, breaking out to new all-time highs. A lot to like here. I believe this is one that Coyotes is short and against, so I don't love that. We'll probably
Did you
stay
just
away
say
from it.
cojones are short?
Coyotes.
Yeah.
What is that?
He's a person.
Oh,
a
it's
man.
a person.
Yeah.
Look at here. Look at the monthly chart here.
Yeah, if you
throw up-
fib it from the 2019 drawdown, you're right at, I think, the 423.
Throw up the slide 2 there. I mean, new all-time monthly closing highs. Right? You see that? Look at that.
Yeah.
Look at that.
Yeah. And this breakout.
So this guy that you mentioned, Coyotes, it's a guy.
It's a man.
It's a man. He's short. The stock that's making new all-time highs.
I believe so. Yeah.
And it's a super high short interest.
Yep.
Ooh, I like that. Nice.
Go for it. He was short Silvergate and FTX and.
Okay, what does that have to do with this medical device stock?
Well,
majority of stocks he gets short go to
right.
zero.
Yeah,
I guess. So you're not going to buy it because this guy is short?
Yeah, absolutely right.
Are you serious?
Yeah, 100%. That's my new rule after
That's
Silvergate.
psychotic. That's psychotic.
No, it's
real fast on the Powell thing. So last quarter they reported on January 30th, and the Fed, the Fed meetings they're 2-day meetings, right? So the 30th was the first day of their meeting last time.
Telling you.
But that was it. But then I just went back to last year, and there was no alignment. So
all right. Maybe they're figuring something out.
Maybe.
Let's all tweet the chart out today with a Jerome Powell hashtag.
Maybe. All right, we're gonna have Mornings with Mary here in a few. Was there anything of note in the hot corner today?
No, skip it. We did a double yesterday. Really nothing today. But also TMDX has that $100 roll situation going on. Also, the breakout level is really 100, super clean. So I like this one a lot, despite my rule that I can't be involved.
I'm gonna be. I didn't realize that. Like, I have to check this random person's portfolio to see if they're short.
Oh, go buy it.
Before I didn't know that was like part of the process.
No, it's not your process. It's just mine.
Got it. So before you buy any stock, you check this guy's portfolio to see if he's short.
No, I don't want to go long names that he's after because he's a sick fuck. He's a freak. He destroys these companies. It's crazy.
All right.
His track record is unreal.
All right. I don't know who he is, but I'll happily take the other side.
On the short side is good. On the long side he's been long overstocked for a while.
Can we talk about something important here? Can we go to slide 2, please? I'm gonna be that guy. I don't care. I'll be that guy. I'm just gonna keep pounding the table on things that continue to work it.
Yeah.
This is a $7 billion SPAC. People are like, oh, this is a piece of shit. Oh, this isn't a real company. Let's remember, this is a SPAC. So we know that already, right? SPACs. Spencer, just like Strazza has like this like aversion against buying stocks that this random guy is short, Spencer has a problem with SPACs, right? There's a good reason why Spencer has a problem with SPACs.
Yeah, I got burned.
They all suck. They're
I got
all pieces
burned.
of garbage. There's a reason that they can't just go public in a traditional manner and got to do some, reverse scam to get into the public, right? There's a reason why SPACs tend to suck, right? Okay. People's anger and emotions creates squeezes. We've seen it before. We will see it again. Whether you've been in this trade or whether you have not, don't worry about it. There will be more. There's going to be more of these, and I would encourage everyone to look around, find stocks that people are emotional about, that people hate. And Phil Perlman said a great thing yesterday. Strazza, you're going to love it.
Love
if you have any emotional tie to a particular company, good or bad, just stay away.
Yeah.
Right? Like if you are, the biggest fan of Disney, you get the annual passes, Walt Disney World is your life. You probably shouldn't be trading Disney stock, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because you're emotionally tied up to that. Like if the Miami Dolphins or the Miami Hurricanes were a publicly traded stock, I should not trade that, right? I should not, for the same reasons why you shouldn't be betting on your home team, for or against.
Yeah,
so there's too many emotions. You can't think straight,
I don't disagree that. I
love that. I hadn't thought of it like that until Perlman said that yesterday.
I'm never going to follow that rule because you only live once, and I'm not going to bet on the Huskies and the Giants and the Knicks. You're crazy. Like,
okay,
it's
fine.
just, it's too good. It's too good.
You're not using real money for that stuff. You're just playing around. I'm talking about real investments. And you specifically, I don't think that you really have any emotional ties to really anything, right?
I don't think so, but I have ties. Like I favor companies that I used to audit and things like that. So
You should probably be aware of that and at least consider that before you make moves.
I don't think
Right?
I'm emotionally tied, but I do like getting involved in businesses that I know and understand.
Like
And I think
something
that's
like a Cushnet, you should probably stay away from, I feel like.
dude, I bought it like 2 weeks ago. So I'm long golf now. There's a high
You
short
know,
interest.
Strazza's like, think about it. I love how Perlman said that. Like, if you have emotional ties to a company,
Yeah.
in this case, politically, obviously, like, let's say if you lean very,
Mhm.
liberal and you hate this guy or whatever, like, or maybe if you are super Republican and you love this guy, like, either way, you should probably stay away, right? In either extreme, because you have emotional ties. I
100%.
hadn't thought of it like that until Perlman said that yesterday, but I think that's great advice.
Also, crazy people on the internet and different media platforms are selling this as a vehicle to literally make campaign donations, which is just wild. So there's that whole thing going on also.
Love that.
People are being told that buying shares in this is supporting Trump's campaign.
I do love that. I don't. It's not so much that I love that. I love the fact that they're using that and people actually do believe that.
By the same people that tell you to buy gold during
on the other side of the coin, see what I did there? On the other side of the coin, can we look at slide 3 there? Just to cover all bases here. Geo Bowden continues to completely fall apart.
Yeah, no good. No good.
Geo Bowden making new 1 month lows here.
So I want to talk about cryptos real quick. I have a chart and a question for you, sir. Let's throw this up. Rate of change police is out today.
Hey, I don't even know what that is.
Police. We're here. So what do you think the last 2 days, and I know today's not done yet, so don't yell at me. But the last 2 days,
minutes ago.
Last 2 days for Bitcoin, and I'm talking about today and yesterday, looking to be pretty weak. Where do you think this stacks up from just a back-to-back down day standpoint?
2-day rate of change?
Yeah, 2
I
day.
don't think it's anything that significant, is it?
I didn't think so either. And boy, are we wrong. So Bitcoin has been super low volatility this cycle, as it really makes an argument for it to be treated like a blue chip tech stock. Throw this chart up real quick. I just put in the chat. This is the worst 2-day losing streak if Bitcoin were to close where it is right now today at whatever.
Which, to be clear, is still 10 hours away.
In time. Worst 2-day rate of change. Worst back-to-back down days since the bottom after the FTX blow up in October of 2022.
All right, so it's not that long ago.
This whole bull market, this whole
but that's kind of what I would have thought. That's kind of what I would have thought. Yeah, 22. Yeah, I would have probably said earlier in 22, to be honest, not the end of 22. But yeah,
all right. Question for you: does that make you feel bullish or bearish on it?
It's neither bullish or bearish. It's stuck below overhead supply, so I'm just gonna keep continuing to sit tight and just wait for the breakout. Like, it's just more of the same. Like, it just continues to reiterate why I haven't been buying Bitcoin.
Wow.
Yeah, I don't think it's anything new. It's just same old.
What I do like, and I can't find the chart right now, but I do have a Bitcoin chart marked up showing fail top after fail top after fail top over the past year and a half. And I think this is likely to be another fail top. And maybe this is the shake before the get some. And I think we're heading higher soon. We'll see.
I think that would be very constructive. I also believe, and I've said it, I believe that this absorption of overhead supply should last less long because the supply and demand dynamics have changed, particularly from the demand side of the equation and all these new ETFs. That doesn't change the fact that demand still needs to absorb that supply, and it still has not. But I've argued that it would probably take less time because of that. So we'll see, right?
I like a shakeout before my breakout. If this ends up being a shake and we reclaim these pivot lows by the end of this week, then I think that's where we're headed. So let's see.
Do you think that we're going to start to see spikes in 10-day highs, 30-day highs in the alts before Bitcoin breaks out?
I think after, right? I think
after.
Yeah, I think Bitcoin, Solana, the big cap leaders continue to lead, and then you see that strength down the cap scale. At least
I
that's
don't
the
really
way it's
have a
been
strong. I
going.
don't really have a strong opinion on that. So I was
Me
kind of
either.
curious.
Yeah,
your
I'm
thoughts.
open-minded to that, but at least that's the way it's been going for the most part, right? So I think, and we talked about it on here a few days ago. Solana getting rejected at that VWAP, no good, no good. Like that, levels like that need to be reclaimed. So we'll see.
Can we just go back just one more time? Go back
Wait.
to the slide 13 there, Spencer, please.
Hold on. You know what's funny about that Bitcoin chart? Is that horizontal line, that failed breakout line that you drew
Where?
just there?
Mine or this one?
No, the one that was just on.
Where I'm drawing a potential failed breakdown.
Sure. So that red line, that horizontal red line,
Yeah.
that's more or less where I bought the IBIT in my Roth IRA.
And I think that's fine because you were betting on a top not completing in the context of a primary uptrend. So I think that's a good entry.
Okay. I'm just commenting.
I think you want a pretty tight stop here right now, right? Because if this is a top, you don't want to be involved.
Yeah.
Like
slide 13,
tomorrow,
if you will.
like a red day tomorrow might be your exit signal.
I think this is. I think this slide 13 is really everything anybody needs to know. I
Right,
think the
yeah.
rest. I think the rest is bullshit. I think this could last another few weeks. It could last another few months.
Yeah.
Could last years. I have no idea. And I'm just going to sit back and wait. I got all the time in the world. I'm not going anywhere. If
So
and when it breaks out,
the
I will
Bitcoin
flip
you
the book.
own, you're never going to sell. Like, do you have a level as you wait for this? Because you're long, right?
Yeah.
So why, like those Bitcoins, how do you manage that risk? Or is that
If it breaks below 31, all bets are off. And
Wow.
here we are, right? So
I like that. Listen, we had a conversation with Jason Purrs about this. Like
yeah.
catching trends in volatile assets really means you have to do some work around vol targeting and allow for some steep drawdowns. So JC stop is 50% lower.
Yeah, but that's where we got in, you know.
Oh, I
So
get it.
like in this last go around, so it's not so much a stop, is that I'll have to really reevaluate this entire thesis at that point.
So you're
But I want to buy. I want to buy in this in the same aggressive nature that we were buying a breakout above 31. I feel that way in all three of these, and it could take a while. I have no idea. Could be a while. I said the same thing in gold in 2020. Be like, oh, here we are, back to the former highs. It could take a few weeks, could take a few months. As it turns out, it took a few years.
Yeah. So you're long above 31 until you think this cycle's over, and then you'll have some sort of.
I'll probably be a big seller at 120, like we've talked about.
Right. Yeah, I like it. Cool.
Yeah. But remember, I also have a bunch of private investments. I've got a huge mining operation. So I've got other things that I can't touch anyway.
Helpful information. Don't go doing this.
What?
All right.
What?
Too much going on.
No, but what I'm saying is, like, I'm an investor in a few hedge funds, and I can't touch that money. I'm an investor in some private companies. I can't touch that money. So I'm in whether I like it or not.
We got helium miners.
I hope you like it, JC, because you're in whether you like it or not. So I hope you like it.
Apparently now one of your private equity investments is a play on cryptocurrency, from what I'm hearing.
Mine?
Can we bring on Mary?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Please.
All right.
Mary.
Good morning, gentlemen.
Oh, Mary, looking lovely as always. You've been hanging around the Shaffers a little bit too long, it looks like.
Well, I mean, they're family, so I kind of have to.
You should have seen their shirts yesterday.
I'm sure they were loud.
So now that JC has sufficiently stolen your thunder and your talking point on DJT, Mary, what would you like to talk about?
Oh, is that what you were going to talk about, Mary? My bad.
It was only because, it's really the only trade I've taken since we last spoke a week ago. So on Thursday morning, you guys were talking about this stock and JC's narrative of, people hating or, strong emotions and for whatever reason. And at one point, Steve said, I wouldn't touch the stock. And I was like, boop, I'm in. So More or less, it was.
Ouch.
I saw on the daily it held the 200, I think, for a couple of days there, and then it was, coming back up. I was like, that's good enough for me. Long above 35 is kind of, that range, 34, 35, and it just, it ended up working out in my favor. So yeah,
You're
it's
out,
it's
though?
been a great trip. Now I'm not out yet, no, but taking profit along the way. Still,
Yeah.
still in.
I'm not in anymore either. I think this 50 level is going to be a little troublesome.
Yep,
If
I
you
think
look
so
at a
too.
closing chart, if you zoom in on those candles a bit and you just look at a closing chart, that 50 area tends to have a lot of memory. So
Hmm.
I kind of want to see, I think it could be choppy here. So
Yep, yeah.
if it
50 was
rips,
my target too. Yeah.
it's one of those, like, if it rips and goes to the moon without me, so be it. But yeah, I want to see some consolidation up here. Just look at the closing prices going back all year. Like this
Sure.
50 area is a big one.
Yeah. There's also a VWAP coming in from the high that was made a few weeks ago. So that was right around 48. That was actually my initial target, that 48.50. So I've been taking profit along the way, and yeah, I might be out by the end of the day here, depending on how we close with what's
Just
left.
again, as a lesson, you're going to find opportunities like this in the future for stocks and ETFs that people hate for reasons that have nothing to do with the stock itself. Look for them. There's opportunity there. We're going to see it again. It's coming again.
Yep. So I haven't been super active. I've been getting stopped out of things, and we had the conversation with, it was last week, it was 2 weeks ago. Just when I feel like I'm having to go looking for things, like going through a lot of charts and like having to convince myself, well, what if this could be a possibility. It just feels like I'm pushing it, and so I learned the first time around when I started trading early that those types of situations where I'm trying to convince myself to take a trade, I just need to step back and wait for things to look better. And so I'm creating a shopping list. Got a list of things that I'm watching, but I haven't gotten involved yet, just because everything's been choppy.
What are some names on it?
Oh, I've got the usual suspects of technology, and then some of our favorites in the commodity space as well, and yeah, lots of stuff that we've got on our list for All Star Charts Premium and Rangefinder and those kinds of things.
Tech stocks, huh?
Yeah. Thoughts?
What are you looking forward? No, I mean, just tech continues to be the worst place for investors to be on Earth. Barry, what are you looking forward to this evening for the conference call? You stoked?
I am, yes. And I mean, that's partly one of the things that I look forward to most are the conference calls with All Star Charts Premium, only because I kind of get to this place, especially after about 2 weeks, I get to this place where I'm kind of just like, I kind of wonder what I want to do, just what I was saying, what I want to do with making trades. And attending the conference calls, and especially the monthly, being able to take that big step back and look at the big overall trends and kind of refocus my attention on where I should be fishing. It's always super helpful to me. And so I always set aside, that hour and a half of time. My family eats without me because it's conference call day. And so I like watching them live because I set aside the time. That way I know that I'll watch them, because if I don't watch them live, then time gets away from me. And
What do you do
I
for
don't watch
dinner?
them.
What do you do for dinner for the family when you're
So usually my husband we do something easy, like he grills burgers or hot dogs or something like that, and he'll just bring me a plate. And I will sit and watch the conference call eating my dinner. And so, yeah, and
what do
funny,
you
you were
drink? What are you
talking about,
drinking with that dinner?
oh, usually water or something like that. But it was funny how you're talking
Oh,
about the grill at the beginning of the show. So our grill is also in our garage right now, because coincidentally we are also redoing our deck here in a few days, actually. So we're also doing the grilling from the garage. And a lot of people here in Michigan, I think it's because of the weather, put their grills in the garage, because leaving them out all winter, it's just kind of hard on the grill especially if you don't have it covered. So not ghetto, at least here in Michigan, but Midwest. So I know standards are a little bit different than the East Coast.
are they?
I don't know.
I don't think that's right. I think it's about the same. I was a little bit embarrassed having dinner in the driveway with the grill, but it was good. Go ahead and make fun of me and my Pomerol. I'll sip on my Pomerol in the driveway all day. All day.
Well, this morning I've got my coffee, so That actually might hold me through until the conference call.
Shout out Michigan.
Shout out Michigan.
Spencer, shall we?
We
Recess.
shall.
What is this picture? Is this one of Strazza's cats?
No. Okay, so we can go there. This is my deck, and this is my raccoon.
Oh, it's a raccoon.
So the raccoons are back. So I think I shared this story a few weeks ago when JC was having his raccoon problem. We caught 7 of these buggers last summer and rehomed them. And evidently this is either a new one or they're back. I don't know, but we caught this one. Just like, this is raccoon buffet. It just goes right up to our bird feeder and just scoops out little pawfuls. And so that's what it's doing. It's scooping out pawfuls of bird seed.
They
So
are so good at using their hands. They're like little
Right?
things. It's amazing. The raccoons blow my mind. I want to go to that island in Miami that's just raccoons. They call it like Raccoon Island. Have you ever been there, JC?
No.
it exists.
Yeah, it's cool. Look it up on Instagram. So anyway, I have a raccoon story too, where the raccoons are actually helping me. So I have a crazy neighbor who feeds the raccoons. Raccoons walk into this man's living room. He opens a sliding door. And he,
No.
yeah,
Dear
it's really
Lord, people.
Florida man stuff. So anyway, he's feeding the raccoons. So they're around. I wake up the other morning. There's a dead iguana in my front yard. It's huge. It's like this giant iguana. And I don't want to touch it because these things are diseased. And they're some of the grossest animals.
As are raccoons.
Right. So I'm like, I'm going to leave it for 24 hours, see if the coons help me. I leave the iguana. I wake up the next morning. It's absolutely gone. I know a raccoon took it. So raccoons in my neighborhood are really helping out.
All right. Well, yeah. So now we've got a trap set, and we're gonna start catching them again.
Did you catch
I've
them
got,
into a park and like let them go?
Yeah. So we drive them about 5-7 miles away, and because you have to take them a ways, and we release them back out into nature. But I've got kids, and they play in the backyard. And last year we were finding all the droppings, and it was just gross.
You have kids, Mary?
Kids.
Just a few.
Spencer, throw up that slide. I just wanted to share with the folks. I thought this was interesting. Saw this across the stream. This is the time it takes a hacker to brute force your password for whatever it is. And if you want to zoom in there,
I saw this morning too.
Yeah, this is really, really impressive the way the math works. If you just use numbers only, or if you just use lowercase, just how easy it is for a hacker to hack in. But if you complicate your password using numbers, upper, lowercase, symbols, it would take, 19 quadrillion years.
I'm good.
Right.
So if you're using upper, lower, and a symbol, like you're golden.
I mean, if you have 9 characters,
Yeah, that's what I got.
you have a number, upper, lower, and a symbol.
Yeah.
And you have 9 characters, it will take 479 years. I think you're good.
Yeah.
I think you're probably good.
I
think that's the sweet spot. Because seriously, 18 characters, I think that's a little, it's too much. I think the sweet spot is the hacker would have to take 479 years. I think that's good. And that's the number. 9 characters, number, upper, lower, and a symbol. You do that with 9 characters, and you're good. I thought that was really informative.
Yeah,
that's cool.
Good stuff.
I guess I
Thanks
need
for sharing.
to go change some passwords.
See the Knicks game last night?
Yeah, that was going to be my recess. I was thinking about this, probably like the most heart-wrenching Knicks loss in I don't know, a decade, maybe 20 years. Just brutal loss last night. Absolutely ripped your heart out.
And that was a travel, Maxie. That was a travel.
I don't know, maybe.
Really?
It was.
He does that. He takes an extra step. He did that another time. They did call him for it.
They've been calling travels a lot. The NBA gets a lot of heat for not calling travels. I've seen a lot of travels being called, and that wasn't one of them.
Well, Tyler Hero acts like he's a running back when he catches the ball.
He does.
It's like 8 steps.
Yes, he does, and he gets called for it a lot. So
yeah,
Maxie, he took like 4 steps, dude.
He's good though, dude. Like
Maxie,
the Knicks didn't lose that game. He won it.
He's very good.
I will say though, the best part about watching the Knicks right now is getting to see people like Ewing sitting next to John Stark, sitting next to Carmelo Anthony and McEnroe, and like everybody's out there. So they're just having a blast at the Garden. It would have been nice if they did close that out in the Garden. Garden was rocking with like a minute to go.
They better not blow it.
I don't think so. Brunson's too good, man. He's really good.
He's good.
Yeah, just heart wrenching. Anyway, brutal loss. I think the next game is tomorrow.
Yeah.
So yeah. Anyway, my other recess is, anyone have any advice? I have a bee's nest right outside my front door. Anyone have any advice for that? Drop it in chat or whatever.
Yeah, what kind of bees?
I don't know. Bees. I don't know.
You know, there's like all different kinds of bees.
No,
Okay.
I mean,
You know who's a
they're
bee
not like
expert?
hornets. They're not like massive. They're pretty small, but they're bees.
If
You know, Jason Purrs is a expert on bees
so that's some real Florida man stuff too. So you can,
in Ohio.
if it's a big enough hive, he's from Florida. If it's a big enough hive, you can call a beekeeper. They'll come out and do it for free because they want it. I did that.
We've got that. We had to
Oh,
do
really?
that
Oh, they do it for free?
Oh yeah, they want it. They
They
want
must save the bees, right?
They work for honey.
All right, I didn't know that. I'll have to make some calls.
Spencer, talk to Jason. He'll tell you what to do. I'm telling
Okay,
you,
fair
I
enough.
knows everything about bees.
Yeah. All right. It is Wednesday. We got our weekly analyst meeting, and we got the hot corner at 1:00 with Strazza. Stay tuned for that. Thanks to all of our guests today. Thanks to Mary. Thanks to Brian. Thanks to Kenny. Thanks to all of you in the chat. The link that is pinned to the top of the chat is to tonight's All-Star Charts conference call. You can click that link. Right. Just if you're already a member, get in. If you're not, join. You get in. As always, it's one of the best things, if not the best thing that All-Star Charts does. That's what I got. So go make some money, and we'll see you tomorrow.
Thanks.
Adios.
Bye, guys.